Hey guys, what's going on? I've got an 89 Sea Ray with the 4.3 Mercruiser motor in it, and I'm getting ready to change the oil. It's a real popular motor, and I'm going to show you how to change the oil in yours and what's involved in doing it. Before you change the oil, you're going to want to run the motor for a little bit, let it get up to, let it get a little warm. Let's get the oil a little warm in there so it comes out easier for you. And you can do this with a set of muffs. If you're not sure how to do that, I've got a video that I'll put in the description of this one that shows you how to put them on. These are what they look like right there. You turn your garden hose on, you put the muffs around the intake on your motor, turn the water on, then start your boat, and the water will come out, let your motor warm up. All right, so what I have got is a pump that I bought off Amazon, and it connects up to your battery, positive and negative, to turn it on, to put power to it. And this goes down the oil dipstick right there. Pull this out. And you fish the tube down in there, the hard plastic tube, and it'll come through the pump and out into a jug that I'm going to have on the other end of this. And I'm going to get this hooked up and get the pump going. Okay, so I have it going into an empty 5-gallon jug, 5-quart jug that I had empty in the garage, and I kind of wanted to keep an eye on how full it became. The dealership told me that this motor should have 4.5 quarts of oil in it, so if all the oil's out of there, it should be just about filled. This is a 5-quart, so it'll be like a half a quart off when we're done. Let's start this up. There's a switch on it right there. Here it comes. Seems weird doing an oil change like this. So we're gonna let this run for a minute and I'll show you where we're at. That's all I did was stick it right down with the dipstick hole. Easy peasy. The flow on this is pretty good. The flow's pretty good. It's faster than the hand pump. Alright, so we're just about at the bottom. It's starting to sputter a little bit. And I'm gonna let it do its thing and take the hose out. So I'm looking at my jug right here, and it looks like 4.5 quarts came out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's about a half right there. So I feel pretty good with that. So I picked up some oil. I have 4.5 quarts, and I went to the dealership and they gave me the Mercury 4-stroke marine engine oil, the say 25W40. I've read online that's typically what these Mercruiser 4.3 motors take. It's 4.5 quarts. That's what the dealership told me on this particular motor. This is an 89. The only thing concerning me is that they said that this is the oil filter for it, and it looks to be half the size of the oil filter that's in it. But the dealer did say that the oil filter that I have is at the back of the motor, which it is. They ran my serial number for the motor, so I'm wondering if the person before me just put the wrong oil filter in it, because that could be the case too. And it really is supposed to be the smaller one, which is right here. So I'm gonna go get that other one out of there. It's gonna be a pain. You're gonna have to get a wrench on it and put a plastic bag or something under it to catch any oil dripping out. And let's go see where it is. So on my end, it's down on the, if you're facing the motor, it's on the right, down underneath there. You can see it right there. So I'm gonna get an oil filter wrench. I'm gonna take that off, match it up to the new one, see if it's the same size and diameter, and put the new one on. And I'm not sure which way I'm gonna tackle it yet. I may tackle it from up here and reach down and under. May try to worm my hand up and under there and get at it from this way too. We'll see what we do. Steve's over here behind me. The oil filter was a pain to get off. I could not get it off with the band, a strap wrench. I tried like a regular wrench to get up on the end of the oil filter, and the one that I had was kind of loose on there. So I want to get it off. I got a pair of adjustable vice grip oil wrench pliers that I got from Harbor Freight, and that wouldn't break it free. So Steve's like, I'll get it off for you. so he's up here in my boat, pulled them out of the garage, and I'll show you how we busted this oil filter free. It was, I'm telling you, it was on there. I have a pretty good grip, Steve would tell you. I couldn't get it free with the traditional methods. Hold on, I'll show you what we did. So we got a 4.3 Mercruiser V6. My boat's an 89 bow rider. I researched this on the internet, and it was thread after thread after thread on the forums. I've had to break one of these oil filters free. So Steve is a bus mechanic, and he runs up against this quite a bit. So what we did is he had a really good fitting oil filter wrench that we put on a long breaker bar.
74 to 76 millimeter.
Okay.
And, you know, I couldn't really get it on super tight, so Tony held his finger, you know, underneath the side of it.
Yep.
And I just tapped this up with a hammer, and it pressed right on. And then leverage is your key.
Yep.
And, you know, I didn't have a lot of swing room in there with this, but I had leverage to get on it. And it's very difficult. Now, we cracked it loose, and then we worked it to get it off. And we put the new one on by hand, and then I just went about a quarter turn with this to get it snug. Now, Tony originally had, he'll show you the oil filter he took off. This is a Chevy 4.3 V6, and years ago the filters would be like a short filter for a Chevy V6 was like a PH 47. He'll give you the exact numbers. And they also made like a PH 51, which is the same filter. It was just a little longer. He had the longer filter on here. He bought the OEM one, which was shorter.
Yeah.
Next year, he's going to buy the longer filter. It just it drops the filter down. And it's, you know, the old one was white, the new one's black. It just blends right in with everything because it's shorter.
Yeah.
But the longer white one, it just gives you a little more circulation with the oil. And I think it's going to be a little easier to actually access it to get it off in the future.
Yeah.
But this was the setup right here to crack this thing loose. And you can get a long 3/8 flex ratchet at Harbor Freight, inexpensive. And we actually got this oil filter set up at Harbor Freight as well. And it tapped it right on, and we were able to have some success and get it off.
Yeah, so I really hope this video helps a lot of you guys out. There was a lot of guys having really bad issues trying to get this oil filter off of this motor. And other marine applications too. This is what we did to cheat it off there.
And Tony put a little bit of grease on the O-ring, and this one was probably installed dry, and it just baked itself on there. That's why it was so hard. But put a little bit of, you know, people say put oil on it. You can put a thin coat of grease on it. You get it tight by hand, and, you know, maybe a quarter turn, and that's it. We'll fire it off to make sure there's no leaks, but you do not have to tighten the hell out of this thing to make, you know, to get it on there.
So now we're going to fill it up with oil. Take the oil filter cap off. Funnel. I'm gonna put 4 quarts in. Actually, this takes 4.5 quarts. Okay, I put the 4.5 quarts of oil in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right at the fill mark, and right on the money with this. Oil's really clean, so it might be hard to see on the camera. Okay, make sure you put your oil filter cap back on and the valve cover. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have a question, leave a comment. I will reply back to you. Take it easy.